We can only do that if we control our borders and we control who comes in from where.
Are torn between two cultures. We feel the responsibility to pay homage to our roots, but at the same time claim the culture that we've been born and raised into.
The worst-case scenario would be getting sent back to Guatemala, a country she hasn't lived in since she was 4. Advocates say that's a possibility 800,000 recipients known as Dreamers are facing around the country.
My family immigrated from Ghana. I think the parenting style, the way we think, like what we deem as respect and morals are completely different to how British people are. I like the cuisine and how you act and how you carry yourself is different.
Part of my family is Spanish and part of my family is Irish, but I consider myself more Spanish because obviously like, I visit the country more, speak the language. Traditions like, I don't know, we have like flamenco dancing, we have bullfighting in Spain. Here there's nothing really like that. There's like a lot of traditional kind of things we do, like we have La Semana Santa. It's like in Easter, it's like basically it's very you know, like Catholics, we have like all this like Easter and Jesus dying on the cross, and like it's basically the people from the church take like the statues and put them on behind like on their back, and they walk with them, they play music, and it's just really holy and everything. So yeah.
Me and my family immigrated from Poland when I was 5 years old. Polish like Christmas traditions, because that was like so different to like British culture.
So my family and I immigrated from Albania and I was 8 years old. So when my parents first told me that I was leaving my home and coming to the UK, I was very upset. Obviously as a young child, you know, you think about your family, your friends. I was going to school then, it was my first year at school, so I didn't want to leave my friends, my teachers, and I was growing up with my grandmother as well, and I was really upset about leaving her behind.
In 5 years, I see myself hopefully finish my degree and hopefully having a job that I like, and having had travelled the world and like document that experience, because I feel like after you get a degree people think you should have your life planned out, but I feel like it won't. Like God takes you on different courses, so I don't think it will work out that way, but I'm hoping for the best. And like I think one of my long-term life goals is probably to give a TED talk.
In 5 years, I would want to be a music video producer because I really enjoy it, and obviously I'm on a media course, so yeah, I think that's something I would like to do. Yeah. The different issues I faced by like being Polish here is obviously when I was younger, I came here not speaking a word of English, like I didn't know how to say anything at all. But obviously when I grew up till like when I was like 9 up to 11, in like primary school, that was difficult as well because everyone was literally so different, and like I was confused, and if I told other people like oh like I only speak Polish at home, I only eat like this type of food, it would just be like, oh well, we don't eat that, like, we don't do that, it'd just be different.
I think, well obviously growing up in Britain, like it hasn't been like a massive issue or difficulty. Like I've been quite lucky to have like a lot of Spanish friends and a lot of Irish friends and also British friends, and I found it like quite easy to fit in, and also like mixing with other cultures, like for example like I don't know, Albanian cultures and like Polish and other like places like that, people from other countries, but it's just literally they're so welcoming, so friendly. It's nice to like meet new people, and yeah, share different things that you like.
So the journey between Albania and the UK was very long. It took us about 6 months to travel from Albania to the UK. And the sacrifices that we made were things like we slept on the streets, slept on park benches, we had to sleep one night in a graveyard, we slept inside churches. So yeah, it was a very long journey, very tiring, very exhausting, and as a child you don't really understand what is happening, and you just find it that you're constantly moving and travelling, you're constantly travelling through the night. And I think it was a big sacrifice that my parents made, travelling with children across the Adriatic Sea. We travelled from South Albania all the way to Italy, and then from then we just made our way through to Europe and then eventually the UK.
I think it's harder to adapt now than before, in my opinion, because when you're younger, you're not socialised yet, so you won't know between colour, you won't understand racism, and like things that people pick out to you, like point out to you, you wouldn't really understand. But now that things that people point out to me at this age, and they do it a lot, because adults tend to have no boundaries or sensitivity sometimes, I think it's gotten harder to adapt. And if you develop two different types of friends, it's like, it can be confusing, I guess. Hani ohiwa.
Bądź silna, bądź sobą.
Ser fuerte, ser tú.
Bano e fort, bano vedvetia.